All right, man, let's get this, dude. I wanted to share this program with you. Want to make sure that you understand everything. It took me a while. I have it slated to start next week, starting Sunday, just so that we have a fresh week to start. But I want to go through all the elements, give you some more detail. What we're going to do too, after you've been training for a couple weeks, is then set an onboarding meeting. Anything else that I think are accelerators of the process we'll go through. And I do want to go through those real quickly right now. Just these are on our website, RC13 Sports, or you can even put in RC13.com. When you go down to the homepage, like you go all the way down, you're going to see these three booklets. I want you to download these guys. I want you to like just at least listen to the instructional link of what they mean, what they do. And I want to discuss with you, some more about these areas. Okay, just making sure we have everything in place, inside and out, that we can possibly handle right now. And I know it's going to be a small team of me and you and Lou. So let's getting back to the training plan. They all start very similarly. There's going to be a header for the day. I have you on a semi quasi off-season program, just so that we can get a little bit more physical development in, a little more athletic development. I'm going to add to it as we go, and I thought that would be a good place to start. If games come up, okay, I'd love for you to throw to batters at times. We'll iron that out, to stay sharp. But on Sundays, I have this recovery day. And on this recovery day, there's all of them. This beginning is the same. There's a checklist, and it'll all be pushed on your app to rate your sleep, how your throwing arm feels, and how your body feels. We're checking this pretty much monthly, and making sure that your status is good. But if you're answering poorly for these things, right? I say drop everything to one set on all exercises. So there's a little additional tip in there. For exercise in one set, do half the reps. Okay? So that's kind of basics there. Body weight, I want you to do each morning and enter it. We're going to do it twice because I want you to hydrate at least 2 bottles of water, but I don't want you to drink out of plastic. That's a big piece in terms of testosterone boosting. 2 bottles of water, get you going. Morning routine, in that mindset packet, there's some affirmation examples. I do want you to come up with something that you can say in the day, kind of get it out in the atmosphere, get it into the positive lens, and you could say, I'm going to be a pro. Whatever it is, you need to have something to reset your mind and build your confidence. You might not have had a great game the day before. I want you to have the right mindset to start your day, okay? We have all sorts of people that help with athletes in this area, the mental performance. If you're not on any blood thinners and there's no allergies, try beetroot juice. If you have a hard time drinking it, okay, I have supplements that are approved by MLB that one, it's pretty nice because it could go in your bag as a pre-workout. That might be an option, okay? So just check in with me for that. When it comes to soft tissue care, we have a deal with a company that improves blood flow, microcirculation to the forearm muscles, and I think it even gets in towards the ligament to just get overall blood flow happening in the arm. It's called Revival Organics. Okay, so revivalorganics.com. When you go there, shop, we use all the roll-ons. Basically this dark green, the purple, and the blue. We don't use the Cool Sports Blend because it doesn't have DMSO in it. Doesn't have CBD compounds in it. But this one is prior to throwing to really spike up the circulation. This one's a little higher dose because there's some inflammation. And then we have one that's more extended release that the athletes wear on their hot spots on their arm at night. That gives us a lot more circulation of the throwing arm and is truly helpful. We've had a lot of success with it. I know I got hit in the thumb when I was catching a guy. It blew up like a pickle, and I was just putting the salve on it, no ice, and it reduced it, and I had full movement within 2 hours. So I applied it every 15 minutes. So, it's telling you purple salve before throwing. And then what we have here is arm care activation. You have this. It's in each day, but we are going to be focused on doing our hard throwing days on Tuesdays and Fridays. I want you to do your arm care test quick exam at least, before and then after you'll do a post exam. So on a Sunday, probably this is going to be a recovery day, so you wouldn't have to worry about the arm care pretest. If you throw, you could use the primer. There's an option when you hit the exam button on the arm care platform where you do a quick 1-minute test and it'll check out what's going on with your arm. And it's just for easy, pretty much regular throwing days. But when we do the arm care, the warm up is pretty standard. This is also in the arm care app, but I go into a lot more detail on the technique. So please watch through this once and then go through your testing. You'll take your fresh exam on mound days. We're going to develop a text thread loop for you, me, and Lou, and other performance people that you may have as part of your, your mission here, your journey. And you'll be taking certain screenshots for our text thread and sending it to us so that we can examine them, okay, and make decisions on your throwing. So, and again, I have here a primer on days that are not high intensity throwing days, but we'll take our fresh exam and I'll show you which ones to post once we get our pod going. And then you'll do your pre-throw routine. I didn't have very much in here because I know you have your thing, but I want to really learn more about what you do. We're going to test it. We're going to know how, can we improve your strength maintenance? So, make you less fatigable, window those in. If you have imbalances, what can we remove and put in to restabilize the arm? But I have some that I think are really important as it relates to segmented rotation. Just, daily giving yourself some blocked hip positioning and work on T-spine, but also activating the basically the X factor, the muscles on the opposite side of the hip and the throwing arm. But on this, and then afterwards, after you do your throwing and such, okay, you'd always do your post exam. But again, this is Sunday, so you wouldn't have a post exam. If you do throw on a Sunday, you would have a primer. You wouldn't have to worry about that, but it's good to have this day to recover the arm. Maybe no throwing, okay? I recommend that. Then we have this whole soft tissue plan, all right? A third of the program is mobility, targeting very specific areas that most guys, they get really tight and tense around. But you could do this if you can dedicate this maybe a couple times a week after your training day, after high intensity throwing days, like maybe you get it at the end of the day on Tuesdays and Fridays. That'll be good to alleviate any kind of constrictions. And then all the programming has a checkout. So I do recommend you getting an arm bike. I'm going to show you one that's really inexpensive from Amazon. So here we go. From Amazon, arm bike. Oh, I just had it up right here. They're very inexpensive. They go on a table and you're just cycling with your arm, okay? Makes it real easy, all right? So then, we're getting that 5-minute work. You may have other tools. I do want to know about your other recovery tools, but we have a checklist at the end. Again, we're looking at this monthly. If you threw or you did speed training, hit or lifted, you're rating how hard it was on that day, okay? We can always increase the workload, all right? We can always decrease the workload, make less demands, okay? On your body, okay? So the other thing too, in the post-training, see, I have these recovery shakes. If you were dealing with soreness coming back from injury, you had lean mass issues, I'd probably suggest one of our dietitians, but I think we can get by real well with the shake guide. Just gonna, circle this again. Shake guide's gonna help us, okay? And, definitely consider allergies. I have that in here. But then we have our second hit of that soft tissue salve. That green salve is super helpful. And then I'd like to get a body weight sometime after training, maybe towards the evening, so that you know that you've replenished your fluids. I don't want to lose lean mass. I don't want to lose fluids because circulation is king. I want to get that to the arm. You need to be a circulation king, getting good circulation to the throwing arm, okay? That's one of the pieces of our Tough Mother Chucker nation. Like, we want guys that really buy into circulation of the arm. It's a Hall of Fame mentality, and I know you are, you're doing this and you're training to be built to last. Okay. Now, in the evening, cherry juice I recommend 2 hours before bed. Okay, it's just going to help with some blood flow again, and it's also going to reduce inflammation. So if I looked here, this is the kind I like. But you can look for other ones, okay? This has low sugar, Cherry Bundy. They do have gummies. I'm kind of interested in those. That might be a little easier to handle. But you could look also, I'm just going to put some up on here. If you like drinking cherry juice, organic cherry juice, let's see. It's a little easier than having something concentrated. But you could look for for stickers, for labels, where you see the non-GM or the USD organic. I'm going to see if I can find organic and non-GMO. It's a little bit less inflammatory potentially from the juice. You'd have to look and see if they have those two labels, on it. So I'm trying to take a look and see, if we can find both on the back of the label, like a non-GMO label. It looks like I'm only seeing USDA organic on here and not a non-GMO label. Like, here's another one, Cherry Bundy. It's got the non-GMO label down here. So right there. But if you can get the USDA organic on it too, that would be a really good option. Okay. But the Cherry Bundy juice, I think, is just easier with the ready to drink. And you don't have to do any mixing. Okay. So then we got the blue salve before bed. You take a nice hot shower, skin's kind of warm, boom, you put this on. And then, in a packet, you want to look through the visualization practices and have an evening gratitude. It's a tough skill, and you got to learn it, and you got to practice it, and you got to be able to see, how do I like reviewing my day or my performance? Do I like to see myself from a television feed, making successful pitches, batters chasing, hitting the glove, hitting the target? Do I like the catcher perspective, seeing myself? Do I like my own first person perspective, or a fan, like you'll find out what gets you, reset. If you didn't have a good game, replay it and how you can make it better in your mind, right? And then evening gratitude, I always say, like, think about something you're really grateful for in the day. They don't always go great, right? Games aren't always the best. Tryouts are sometimes not always the best. You got to think something you're grateful for to get that negativity out of your body. Okay. So these ends of the days and pretty much the beginnings of the days till about take post exam are the same on all days. Okay. Just in case, because other players, they have different days. They want to do different things, but I like the structure we have of Tuesday and Friday of being our high intensity throwing days. I mean, things could shift. You could do a Tuesday workout on your Wednesday. You could do then your Friday workout on your Saturday. I just want to make sure that we have some consistency. So let's go to Monday. Monday's theme is we're doing the glove arm, because Tuesday we're going to be it's going to be our first high intensity day. So we train the glove arm and with a lower body split. So you go through here. There's a section where there's both arms, generally with hands on the floor. I want to really improve your scapular mobilization and stability with a fixed arm, okay? Then we go to elbow stabilization. We then go to a custom block. I have these as glove arm only for you. Once we do more arm care testing and I see your data, we need to be able to make some of these adjustments here. Me and the performance analyst, we're going to go in here, okay, make some adjustments. There's some integrated training, strength and coordination elements where it's low, like it's from ground to fingertip. We're working the arm in certain ways, okay? And then there's always a pre-flow. I don't want you to go into a lift without any kind of like quick prep. It's like 5 minutes. Just get the body ready. Then you get your lower body training section here, your range of motion here, okay, that we're working on targeted areas that typically mobility gets restricted for most guys, okay? And the bottoms of this I've already explained. Tuesday is a throwing arm day. This is now the bullpen day. So we want to do the arm after an upper body after these high intensity days, okay? So we know the beginning part. These days, remember, you're going to do the fresh exam, you're going to post to our group, and then after throwing, you're going to do your post exam, okay? We always do training after throwing, okay? So you're going to get, both arms, same thing. Now we do all throwing arm work because we're not sharing this. You're a player that needs to focus on one arm and then the other so that you really, really put a lot of neural effort into it. I'm going to talk to you about more technical things when we get on the call. And then with upper body, it's going to follow a sequence. We can remember, scale this up or down. You can tell me, how gassed you are from it, but I think you'll be good. I think you'll be pumped. there's a range of motion day, and you know the bottom, okay? Wednesdays, this is where I want to start working on body speed, okay? We're going to have, this could be a day we don't throw, let the arm rest, okay? Or if you need to, it'd be a light throw. But I do recommend having an off day, after an intense day like that. But then we're going to work on some speed power aspects, okay? Lower body power, coordination. And then there's some spin rate training stuff. It helps your forearm to stabilize your elbow, but it also really helps to improve your spin, being able to apply friction to the ball, okay? There's a larger range of motion day right here, okay? And then we have the bottoms. Just want to reiterate, as I mentioned on Tuesday, that Sunday plan could be done after Tuesday. All the foam roller, the trigger points, etc. We're hitting up lengthening at the end of this on Wednesday. Thursday's another glove arm day, okay? I may add a lower body, again, a secondary lower body training day, but I want you to get used to this for now. So when I was looking at the program, I thought, okay, I want to give his muscle groups a little more recovery. But here is just glove arm again. We're training the glove arm. Glove arm is really important to be strong for your direction, but the brain gets trained on one side, on the opposite side of the arm that's working, and it actually activates your throwing arm. So you're getting throwing arm training through your glove arm. It's not the same if I did two at once. So it's really an interesting thing called cross education training. I teach some courses on it. So we're getting some glove arm training right here, and then we're doing some range of motion work right here, okay, at the end, and then we have the bottoms, right? Friday, throwing arm. This is another high intensity throwing day, right? We took it easy on the throwing arm in training the day before, and now, after we do the post exam, you're gonna flash the fresh exam on our thread. We do the post exam, we see that, and we're like, okay, yeah, not too fatigued. Let's go get it. If you're fatigued, we got to adjust some of these things. And then we just go after all this, right? We're going out throwing arm only. This is a testing day. However, what I want you to do on this day, don't worry about this right now, but do the speed activation. Okay, I want the activation first, so that you go through our dynamic routine. And you may like to do this with your other throwing days. Say, you know what, I feel really fired up, twitchy, fast. I want some of these elements in my warm up. That's cool, man. And then we have a very brief small speed and agility day. And then afterwards, we have a total body lift, okay? And then I have a heavier hybridized training component at the end, all right? Generally, you'll have some form of a carry, okay, towards the end of this day. And what I didn't mention on Tuesdays, let's just go back there. On Tuesdays, you'll have more of a blood flow component. We're going to try to create a lot of lactic acid for the arm. It's going to help it get in a lot of growth factors and improve its ability to process lactic acid. So you kind of got to feed it the poison for it to learn how to handle it. And then we have range of motion. So we have that on the Friday too, this rhythmic work. And then Saturday's optional, okay? You don't have to throw Saturday. I think it's good. You could probably take Saturday and Sunday off to let the arm recover, especially if you're really pounding, throughout the week. But on Saturday, there's some optional training. These are all both arms. It's very, very light. I'd like you to use a lighter band and probably do maybe 3 quick pumps, at the end of each rep, so it's kind of a vibration, really small range, 3 vibrations each rep. We're going to get a little bit more joint centration. It's going to help with co-contraction. It's going to help with joint stabilization. And, again, we do, the bottom half. So I'm excited. You're going to be locked in. I want to get you all set up. I'm going to shoot you over the video and, let's make it happen. Let's get after it. Okay. Thanks.